Hello, everyone. Welcome, one and all, once again to another terrific live stream. I am your Colonial Champion. Hold on, let me get the belt. Because I am a Bucks fan, I am technically declared champion. That's at least the story I'm going with. And that makes me your Colonial Champion, Sean McCarty. And we're here to watch Ultimate Lucha Dos. Not the whole show. Dear God, not the whole show. Although the whole show is good because I do like a lot of Lucha Underground. But today specifically, we are looking at Prince Puma versus Rey Mysterio Jr. Now, this match, as we are preparing for our Friday show, in which case we will talk about one of these two high flyers, notably the younger of the two, I want to note how the structure of this match in the style of the Lucha that they do contrast to the style that we get in WWE. Because this is structured where a lot of the high spots, it is a lot of high action, high spot matchups, but there's still viable storytelling involved in it either way. And I've seen this match before. I've seen all of Lucha Underground. I love all of Lucha Underground. At least, well, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't actually, because both, I tell two lies. One, I have not seen all of Lucha Underground. I didn't see season 5 or most of 4 because, well, first of all, because they weren't available on either YouTube or Netflix when they were briefly on Netflix. And 2, I don't want to pay for the El Rey Network and watch the rest, which I heard was eh. And so, as a result, I've heard it was good. I've heard the rest was good. It was getting a little silly towards the end of season 3, but even still, I enjoyed. Season 1 was easily the best. Then season 2 was great. Season 3 was okay. And then as it was going on, it was good, but it did something different. It was a different format. And I love different formats. I love when people do things outside the box. And it made it. The reason I never get mad, even though I'm like a traditionalist in pro wrestling as far as what I like and what I don't, I don't fault Lucha Underground because they never promoted themselves as a professional wrestling show. They were a television show that used professional wrestling to tell their stories, and that's what they said from the off. And I never had a problem with that because that was how they established the talent. And dear God, they did a really good job establishing the talent. And Prince Puma is really, arguably, the success story here. Now, Ricochet, who is Prince Puma, in case any of you have not had their kayfabe broken yet, I'm here to do that because this is a show made by Smarks for Smarks. This show, specifically, has a very interesting part to it when Prince Puma starts. And I didn't really care for Ricochet at all because all I see it is like the gymnastic stuff with Will Ospreay and a whole bunch of high-flying acrobatics with no real depth to him. I saw the depth in him when I got him here in Lucha Underground. And that's what I really love about him is his run as Prince Puma. It's the best thing that I think Ricochet's done. And we'll talk about him a little bit more when we do, just to kind of spoil it. Our spotlight is going to be Ricochet. And the great thing about Ricochet is just how versatile he can be in the ring. And I was not a fan of his at all until I saw what they did with Prince Puma. And I'm not saying it was because he didn't speak, but he was able to tell more with less. And that's really rare for a guy. And I think sometimes when you force speech, even though Ricochet is okay at talking, I don't think he's great at talking. He's okay at talking. I much rather listen to Prince Puma not say anything and not cut the promos and just kind of do his silent thing and kind of looking stoically here and there. And you'll see that he really is good at the storytelling, even under the mask. And Rey, you know, you got to talk about Rey Mysterio as far as the guy who made Lucha really, truly popularized Lucha beyond what wrestling had already known and already cultivated in that respect. Obviously, in Mexico, Lucha was white hot. And certain people knew, like El Santo, and there were these certain people who came in and did tremendous things that transcended, but it was like only a few could pull it off and make it look as good as they did. El Santo was one of them. Rey Mysterio is another one. He's one of those guys that became so popular because of WCW, the Cruiserweight division, and then what they did with him in WWE, where they put the mask back on him after they took it off for whatever goddamn reason. And he got back to being just as over, and Ray has got this thing with his son, what a legacy he's leaving behind, a tremendous career he's got. So this really did feel like a dream match, especially the way that they had built up Prince Puma to that point as somebody who was worth fighting and as somebody who believed it. And that's really credit to Lucha Underground, that they made you invested in all of the people who were there beyond just gimmicks, and beyond just actual storylines too. I mean, the storylines helped it along in the way it was shot, but I also think that a big part of that as well is the way that they were able to work. Now, of course, these shows were all edited, so these weren't all complete matches, but they probably gave this in as pure a form as they could. But there's some things like, for example, that Pentagon and Vampiro match, which I think was on the same show. No, that was year one. Yeah, that was the first year, I think. No, it was this year. It was Ultimate Lucha Dos. That's right. And that Pentagon Vampiro match, a lot of that was edited out. It was a long match, but they still cut it to form and still made it look really good. And all the credit to the people who edited these videos to make the matches not look choppy and look edited. They did a really good job of really tying things together. And I think that's really credit to what Lucha Underground was going for. Because somebody at Lucha Underground at least understood how to frame pro wrestling as far as shooting pro wrestling. And they had Chavo and a lot of good people on their side for that. So I think that really Lucha Underground, when it, at least from the beginning all the way up until at least season 3 from when I saw it, was a success. And I know there's going to be people like Jim Cornette who don't like it and don't appreciate it. And I understand their point. I totally get the idea. I totally understand the point. I just don't view Lucha Underground as far as patched in, or it's not quite pro wrestling. But it's pro wrestling enough that I really enjoyed it, and I give credit. And it really made me a fan of a lot of guys. It turned me on and to a lot of people that I became fans of, and then most of them went to AEW, and I subsequently unbecame a fan of them just by how bad Tony Khan's booking is. But I'm talking too much. We're getting into this, but a few points of order real quick. As I said, Friday, we are going to be doing I'm going to take the bottle, put it away. But no, I'm still a Colonial Champion. I'm just going to put it away. So I have a little cross-pollination I want to do here. Because, of course, this show, CMP on Friday, we're going to talk about Ricochet. We're going to review this match. And we're also going to talk a little bit about high flyers in pro wrestling and the news. So stay tuned for that. We're going to have a really fun show. And I also want to cross-pollinate just a little bit. For those of you who potentially are a fan of e-feds, I have a certain show called Colonial Impact Wrestling, which I'm sure many of you who watch this or listen to this already know that, but there are some of you who may not. So in that case, I want to bestow upon you the information that I do run an e-fed, CIW. I've had it going for seven years now, as far as what I've been doing. And there have been periods on and off, but it's been really fun to do. And I've got a little promotional thing going on here, where if you would like to book a match on my program, Colonial Impact Wrestling, which will be airing in June, in the June event called Massacre, you have a 16-man tournament bracket to fill out. It is a predictions bracket, and I'm going to post it now, and I'm going to post it twice, actually, just so you can make sure you've got it. And it is in the description if you haven't seen it. That will be, if you can determine the winner, you will be, or have the most points. If you can't even get the winner, it's whoever has the most points. Whoever wins will receive the opportunity to book a match. You will get a certain group of superstars and a certain bunch of match types, and the choices are yours and yours alone. And that is the prize at stake. I don't have anything better of value, I guess, but it is still a fun opportunity. I have never had somebody else book my show here, so this is fun to do. I'm excited to do it. So if you are interested in that sort of thing, it costs nothing to make a prediction. All you need to do is just let me know who you think's going to win. Just fill one out, Doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter what you like, but I will let you book the match. So it is the tournament right there, challenge.com. That tournament coming together. Now, just for some clarification, people like Valiente and Eclipse and Oli Cannoli are all CIW originals. So you'd have to kind of see some of the people, know a little bit of their backstory. But we do try to cover that during the actual event itself, the King of the Spring tournament, which is going to happen here in May, in the end of May. So we are trying to cover that as well. So that is just a little bit of cross-pollination. But let's get back to the task at hand. Let's review this Ultima Lucha dose. That link should be also in the live chat already. We also have it in the description in case you are looking at it from that perspective. And now I think it is time to get this match going. And as always, what I'm going to do is I'm going to count you down. I'm going to say, let's go. And when I point, press play. So that's how we're going to do this. That's how we always have done this. And that's how we always will do this unless we come up with some better way at some point in some time. But let's stop talking about me. Let's stop making this just a massive tirade. Let's get this going. It's been 10 minutes already. Let's get to this match. We've heard enough of you, man. Let's get to the match. So here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Season finale. July 20th, 2016, this took place. Oh, yes, and that's right. They made Prince Puma the hometown hero. I forgot about that. Matt Striker, this is the reason I have Matt Striker on my commentary team, is because of what he did here with Lucha Underground. And Vampiro, God bless him. Sometimes he was good. Sometimes he was just downright hysterical. I always appreciated Vampiro's commentary because I thought Vamp always had something. Sometimes it'd be ridiculous, but sometimes he'd have a really interesting point to make. This is going to be good. Oh, that's right. They kind of made Rey Mysterio like the king because he was Lucha royalty, which in a lot of ways he is. Oh, that's right. And they had the Trios Championship, too. Melissa Santos, beloved wife of the Machine Brian Cage. Former ACPW Heavyweight Champion. And even Prince Puma's psyched to see right now. Prince Puma was in I'm a heel, but I'm not a heel type of thing. He was in this weird tweener state. And Rey obviously was not a heel. But when you see this dynamic, it's very clear who the babyface and who the heel is in this. And that's what I really think sets the difference in what they do with the high flying in Lucha Underground as opposed to what we get in WWE. But we'll get into that. You got to wait for Friday for that. All right. It's about to get going. Rey Mysterio Jr. Match Striker. All right, here we go. And a handshake. Proper handshake. See, that was the thing about Puma. Puma had changed the tire from his very bright white, his yellow and orange to now it was the black and orange. And he was doing more heel-ish stuff. And I think it was in preparation for this where he's kind of the tweener and Rey is obviously very babyface. But the crowd very adequately split. What do I have to do? Wow, that was early. That was early. Matt Striker saying it before the match even starts. But you know what? Better then than later. Better then than when we all expect it. Nice slamming it down. It's excessive, but I like the give me what you got kind of style, especially when Lucha is what's expected here. And that's one of my favorite things that Ricochet does is the Hurricanrana handstand and stands up. That's like, that always gets me. I'm like, oh man, that's good. This is Lucha. That's what we're getting there. Now they come at each other again. I love how there's like what's really nice about this is they're still selling. They're still selling, and there's still like that hesitation as well. It's just faster paced. But this is still not contrived. This is still not. There's still selling going on here. It's faster, and the selling is faster, but they do take some time to let it register. I'm more fan of a slower pace, but I can accept it when they are still making the effort to sell. And that's something that WWE, where they really don't do. I mean, well, I guess not WWE. AEW is guilty of that. Particularly certain bucks that are no longer young. Now, Crucifix Head Scissors didn't quite get it. And now they're going to work with it. Oh, please, Tombstone. Oh, that's even cooler. That was even cooler. It was like the Tombstone position and then the face up, and then I guess it was like a reverse code breaker. I don't know. I don't even know what to call that move. But that's also what happened at the foot of a lucha match. Oh, what an uppercut. And, of course, Rey obviously knows how to sell. And that's what really helps. And I think that's one of the things with Ricochet, though, that, like, Ricochet is great when he's in the ring with someone who's great. And somebody like Rey Mysterio is exactly the kind of guy that would make Ricochet look really, really good. It's like if they'd ever done a Ricochet and Seth Rollins match, that would be a match that would actually look quite good. Ricochet and AJ always was good. But those are guys who also work a much faster style as a whole, Seth and AJ. As opposed to Rey, who really knows how to sell in depth, and also was there for the older style to kind of adjust to that, especially in WWE in the 2000s. You know, he was fast and he was still wrestling fast, but he also knew when to slow things down. Sometimes the things that fault modern WWE greats like Seth Rollins and AJ Styles is not knowing when to slow down. Wow, that was ridiculous. Over the top rope, still remained upright. Standing switch Hurricanrana into the apron. Ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Oh, that classic Rey slide. I love that Rey slide. Yeah. I wish I were listening to the commentary instead of rambling, but you didn't pay to you're not paying, but you're not watching this video just to listen to the audio from my computer that you could easily find on YouTube. We're here to watch this together. Right? Ooh, nice spot. This was the main event. That's what I thought. I thought this was the main event of this show. But you know what? It's a main event worthy of Lucha Underground for the way that it was built. Oh God, that was great. Although I don't love the way that Ricochet sold that DDT. That was a great exchange, but I think that the sitting up and the grasping was a little too much. Oh, Ray's son, that's right. I don't think it was this match. God, was it? No, I don't think so. That Dominic actually got involved in one of these matches here in Lucha Underground, which may have been the first time that Dominic had ever gotten wrestling involved. I mean, when his custody wasn't being fought for in a ladder match. Yeah, that happened. Head palm, shoot through the ropes into a 619. Okay, that I will accept. Oh, and now this is the third time that Rey has been countered by a counter, and it really shows. I love the display of strength by Puma that they did here. Oh, brainbuster. Now, any other place but Lucha Underground, that would end a match. But I love that strength of the absolute deadlift. I love the zoom in on the promotional poster for Prince Puma and Rey Mysterio, even though we're watching the match. That was funny. I love when Vampiro puts Matt over. Love how they shot the guy who said 323 with the Boyle Heights sign. Oh God. Is he really going? Jesus God. Wow, that was an interesting tease. When has Rey ever been razor's edged off the top rope? If somebody could find me one, I would like to know. Not just slap in the stomach. Man, this is going a little long, though. This thing in the corner. Just going a wee bit long. Oh, don't reverse Rana. Oh, God. And he landed on his feet, though. He landed on his feet, though. He didn't get hurt. Oh, come on. Oh, man. That's a shame. And Rey knew it. Rey knew that sucked. Rey knew he was not happy with that. Rey was not happy with that. Man, I want to go back and watch that because that was he landed on his feet and then tried to sell it like he didn't land on his feet, even though he definitely was supposed to land on his head. I mean, I'm happy he did it safely, but that was not gonna. That did not work. And now doing a 1-2. But at least they register chops. And I don't think we ever saw hockey fights here in Lucha Underground. I could be mistaken. No, they're saying boo earns. Boo earns. Are they booing? Oh, nice. Bulldog went for the Bulldog. Oh, backbreaker. That looked bad. I wish he didn't just pick him up after that, though. Everything's a Blue Thunder Bomb. I don't think there is any such a thing as Blue Thunder anymore. There is no Blue Thunder Bomb. I don't think it exists. So many things have been called it. I don't think there is one. That's Michael Cole, and everything's a Blue Thunder Bomb. This is refreshing not having to have advertisements all the time. Oh, 619. Seriously, every 4 minutes. The thing I hate about those WWE matches, every 4 minutes or 4 minutes and 5 seconds, we have to get an ad. It's nice to actually just watch. Oh, snap. Watch a really good match. Uh-oh. Puma going to go for a 619 or a 323. Got the 3-2-3. He's supposed to be from Boyle Heights, and he's getting a pop. Nice 450. They're not going to let them. Yeah, they were not going to let him beat Rey with his own finish. But see, there was another thing that made Puma good, is that his eyes, he had to work so much more with his eyes to convey the emotions. And I think he does that better with the mask than he does without, honestly. I don't think he has that great I'm going to feel bad for saying this. Because I don't mean to call him ugly. I just think that he is actually better masked. That's not a knock on the person. I don't consider him ugly. I honestly think that he's got a better look when he's got a mask on. It honestly just fits him. It's not going to be enough to beat Rey. Did Rey win this match? I feel like Puma did, but I can't remember. But I feel like Puma does like viciously go after the knee in a couple seconds. Yeah, why Puma would walk all the way to the end of the other side of the ring to let Rey recover that much in an actual fight. Oh God, drop kick. I love Vampiro's like, oh, that was sadistic. I love sadistic. The second one's not going to do it either. I love Striker just openly references, but God, this took too long to set up. It took way too long to set that up. You should not become Matt. You can't call it the "I'm sorry, I love you" moment, because it openly makes you think of WWE and Ric Flair. And why are you doing that? That was a good false finish, though. Hello, I love you. Vampiro. Vampiro. Oh man, and that's why I love Vampiro commentary. And he goes, yes, so I don't think you're saying that hello, I love you moment instead of the I'm sorry, I love you moment. Oh, that was hilarious. Oh, that was great. Oh, God. Thank you, Vampiro. I needed that laugh today. Oh, Rey going for the actual 619. Oh, and he was caught. And I like how they've told this story, how Puma has still been one step ahead of Rey pretty much this entire time. Oh, is he gonna? What's he doing? Another one of these things? Oh, what a flip. Now that is not a destroyer, but that was a hell of a move. That flipping pile driver. How do you talk about spots in a match like this? Because there's so many of them. Oh, and hit him with the West Coast pop. He did beat Puma. I thought so. But Rey was also there for another year, too. It wasn't like this was Rey's last match. Rey had more matches on top of this. This was a hell of a matchup. This is the greatest luchador in the world, and there's probably a level of truth to that. At least at that point, in this point. But now I don't know. Yeah, that was awesome. Now Puma getting right back up in his face. And the hug. So, but you see how like Puma, I still like the fact that Puma wasn't just pure babyface here. He was hitting stiff stuff. He was pissed at times. You know, there was enough there where you can make the argument, especially because they never really wanted to fully turn Puma, which I think was smart because you couldn't fully turn Puma in here. And then Rey abdicating the spot. Yeah, and honestly, in all fairness, Ricochet sold this beautifully. Being the hometown hero and Rey leaving after winning that match. I'm pretty sure Rey came back for another season. I'm pretty sure he was part of season 3. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but still, I don't think there's anything left here. Yeah, that's it. All right. That's it. But still, hell of a matchup. I mean, this is Lucha Underground. I mean, if you want to see at its peak, that was really the kind of match that you needed and wanted. And then again, going back to Matt Striker and Vampiro at the end of that only makes that better because they can kind of talk about the match and what they saw and what they did, and it was terrific. I mean, I'm one of those guys who would love watching 80s wrestling and territories and people just doing the punches and the kicks and a couple big moves and a couple big spots and cover that you lot. I'm all for that still. But Lucha Underground had something special, and it was something that was different. And it was something that had such a unique twist to it, and especially with a match like this, where there were certain things in American pro wrestling you wouldn't like and you wouldn't approve of, like a lot of the fast-paced stuff, but they didn't do anything insulting to the business at all in these matches. If you're looking at the matches in a vacuum, I think that this match you could put up and say this was a great lucha match, and it had storytelling involved, it had emotion, it had a babyface and a heel, and and a good finish with a great conclusion. I've got nothing bad to say about this because this was Lucha Underground for what it really could be, and I don't want to say it's peak, but maybe kind of its peak. Well, we'll leave that up to you. But until then, it is time for me to get going here. So I will see you all on Friday, along with the Bay Area brawler Skylar Greenberg, of course, for another great episode of the Court Martial Podcast. Fill out those brackets, folks, because the tournament starts on the 17th, and we would love to get just more people involved in these predictions. So Yippee-ki-yo, Kanye, and I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.